is Offbeat, podcast that helps you to transform your career aspirations into reality. With your host, Adnan Sohail.
Hey everyone, thank you very much for coming back on Offbeat Show. Today's episode is special. I'm sitting here with Desi Jagger. She's a certified coach for changemakers, originally from Bulgaria, living in Dubai since last 6 years. She's running her own company. She works with individuals as well as with corporate clients, especially with the top tier management to coach them. If you are in your organization in a position where you are looking for a coach or you're looking a coach for your team, this video is especially for you. Watch it from beginning till end. I'm sure that Desi is having a lot of stuff to share with you guys. So without wasting any single more moment, let's go directly to Desi. Hi Desi, welcome on the show.
Hi Mohammed, it's great to be here.
Thank you very much for joining, and tell us first of all that how you landed into this coaching profession, because I believe that a lot of people find it very difficult.
I started my career in Procter & Gamble in the UK, and my role was brand management. But from day one in the company, I was involved in capability development, in training others, and then eventually in using also the grow coaching model internally.
Right.
And that part of my work that had to do with connecting with other people, seeing them grow, was really exciting for me. And I kept adding and building my skills and my experience in coaching and training, to the point where one day I realized I would love to do this full time. Right. And so I left in order to be able to do that.
So tell us first of all, what is coaching actually? A lot of people talk about it and a lot of misconceptions are still there. So first to define, what is coaching?
Coaching is the art and science of getting people to find their own answers. Okay. And in this sense, coaching is a partnership between a coach and a coachee. And it's a journey of provoking thought, of challenging and supporting.
Is it something different than mentoring, or coaching and mentoring is same thing?
It is different than mentoring. In coaching, you are facilitating a space and challenging the person to find what is true for them. So they are coming up with the answers. Right. And then as a mentor, the role is more of guidance or providing advice or experience. Right. And in this sense, a mentor, if you're looking for a mentor, it's important that that mentor has similar experience to what you would like to have, because then they can give you very specific and relevant advice. That's different from coaching, where the coach does not need to know about your industry, about your job. The coach really is an expert on digging out the information from inside of you, and you are the expert on what is true for you and your strengths and your opportunity areas. So that's the difference. For me, coaching and mentoring are complementary. So they go hand in hand, and I would not say that a coach replaces a mentor or that a mentor replaces a coach.
That's amazing. You work most of the time with top tier or with leaders. What is leadership coaching?
Leadership coaching focuses on impact. By this point, leaders in the organization have already developed technical skills, functional expertise. Right. So it's not much about that anymore. The coaching therefore focuses on the impact that the leader wants to create in the organization. Right. What is the legacy that they want to leave in their team, in the wider company, on society as a whole? Right. And this is what the coaching focuses on. How can the leader step up, and what personal growth is required for them in order to deliver that impact? Right. So if you imagine a pebble dropping in water, impact is all the resonance that happens afterwards.
That's a good example actually. And everyone is coachable, or there are some specific categories which you can say that yes, this kind of leaders are not coachable?
It's a great question. In order to be coached, there are three important things. The first one is that you're willing to be coached, not being mandated by your manager, by the company, or by anybody else. The second one, and I always ask my potential clients this question, is openness to change.
Right.
To change inside.
Right.
Not to blame others, the system, to look for faults, or to try and force a change on others. Coaching is an introspective journey about looking inside and saying, I'm open to change.
Right.
Even if I don't know how, I'm open to that. And then the third factor is that leader willing to put in the hard work, the investment of time, of resources, and effort in order to get to the result that they want?
Right.
How important is making an impact for them? And so, in that sense, not everybody is coachable. People who do not want to be coached, people who do not want to invest the time or effort or money, and people who don't want to change are not coachable.
In the process of coaching, like this is something which ideal situation we say that these are the things, but practically, because I'm sure that there must be, every person is having its own story. So when you coach to one person and then to other, do they have any common symptoms or signs or challenges?
I work with change makers or leaders who create positive impact, who want to leave a legacy and to make a real change in the world.
Right.
And the biggest challenges that we address in coaching are the following. The first one is self-worth. Now, change makers have a big vision and they want to create a change. So naturally, most people are resistant to that. And so change makers get a lot of rejection. They hear a lot of no. And that can be very frustrating and very demotivating and lead leaders to question their own self-worth. Am I wrong? Is the idea wrong? Am I just not communicating it right? Yeah, the first area is building self-worth, which is very different from external self-confidence.
Right.
Self-confidence is external, how you come across. And change makers often come across as very confident externally. Right. That does not mean that inside there is the level of self-worth. Right. And so we work to address and to build the self-worth from inside, so it is unshakable, regardless of what happens externally. The second challenge that I see with change makers specifically is focusing on what matters most. Now, change makers are excited, they take on many different projects, they want to be involved in everything, and they have FOMO. They have major FOMO.
Yeah.
And as a result, they can often stretch themselves too thinly.
Right.
And their work-life balance can also suffer. And so they are essentially diluting their contribution.
Right.
So here it's about looking at the whole person and saying, connecting with values and saying what is most important in work and life combined, and how do you let go of things that don't serve you without feeling guilty or like you're not doing enough. Right. So focus is the second area of challenge for change makers. Right. And the third area is about engaging others. Now, change makers have their vision and they're ready to move 100 miles an hour, but they can come across as pushy or bad listeners to others who are not up to speed or a little bit more skeptical. And this doesn't really help them to bring the team along for a journey. Right. So here my work is about how the leader can still be authentic whilst bringing the team for the journey so they can actually deliver their impact. Right. So to summarize, the top 3 challenges I see for leaders who are change makers are self-worth, focusing on what matters most, and engaging others.
Identifying the challenge, after that now you have to address that. So what is the role of a coach? I'm sure that now the role of a coach is not going to be one particular area to improve. So if you can define what is the role of a coach in all this situation.
The role of a coach, as I see it, involves challenging. Challenging the leader to step up. Challenging them to play big. Challenging their assumptions and the story that they are telling themselves and the messages that they're constantly broadcasting internally,
Right.
challenging what is possible, challenging what has been done before, challenging what they are taking for granted. On the other hand, the role of the coach is also supporting,
Right.
helping leaders to celebrate their achievements,
Right.
reminding them how far they have gone, getting them to pause and reflect on what has happened so far, and having some level of respect and kindness on themselves. The other area that I find very helpful from a coach's role is giving perspective. When leaders get obsessed and really focused on a specific challenge, they lose perspective. And so getting them to step out of the box that they're currently into and look at the bigger picture, look at the journey, look at the whole universe, look from a completely different angle that is unexpected. This is also the coach's role. So not colluding with all the self-sabotage that is happening already for the client, but rather snapping them out of that.
If you're watching this video still and you feel that there are some questions that you want to put forward and you want Desi to answer those questions, please write down in the comment and she will be happy to assist you guys. What is the importance of coaching in order to achieve personal as well as professional goals?
It's a great question. I see people as whole human beings.
Right.
We take our work challenges and we bring them home, and we take our home problems and we bring them to work. And in this sense, it is important to look at coaching clients as whole human beings. When I work as part of an organizational project, there are, of course, professional goals. For example, the leader needs to get better in engaging their team, or the leader needs to start delegating and empowering their team. Those are professional goals. What I find that behind every professional goal and behind every professional goal are some very personal challenges. The leader may be afraid of failure. They might be afraid of losing authority and losing face. They might be afraid of rocking the boat. And so it is impossible to separate purely professional from purely personal, because they are very much connected. And so in the coaching, we'll start with the professional goal, and then we will break this down into, what does this mean for you as a human being? How do you need to evolve as a whole person in order to deliver this goal, in order to engage for your team? Who do you need to become as a leader, not just what do you need to do?
There will be some mechanism or way to measure the success or outcome of all this activity. How to measure the success?
Measuring success is an interesting one. Some organizations like to do 360 reports before the coaching and then after the coaching, or for example, a year later.
Right.
This provides feedback from the key stakeholders for the leader. And it's a great way in the beginning of the coaching to set goals based on the one most important area to focus on. So that's the first part, setting a goal, one most important goal. The temptation is usually to come with 5 or 6 points or kind of a laundry list of things. But having a single point of focus helps to keep the coaching journey together. It helps to reflect and to bring everything back to the one most crucial element that will make the biggest difference in terms of the leadership, the leader's growth and the impact that they are creating.
Right.
So setting the goal can be based on the 360 report, or in the case of private clients, well, client, what would you like to work on? What is most important? So we take a bit of time to really define that. When working with, actually both organizational clients and private clients, halfway through the coaching, we'll have a midway review. to look at what is the progress that has been made. And there's two very simple questions. One, from 1 to 10, how much have you improved on this topic? Right? So if the goal was engaging the team, how much have you improved? And the individual leader can give their own assessment of that. Their team can also be asked, their manager can be asked to contribute as well. Right. And then the second part is, how satisfied are you with this progress from 1 to 10? And this is important for keeping context. Because whilst, let's say, the improvement is 7 out of 10, so it's not perfect, the satisfaction with that outcome might be 9 or 10. Because given the time and the challenges, the leader is recognizing that this is great progress for now, and we have more to work on. Right. So that's how a very simple but effective way to look at that. And then at the end of the coaching, we have a final review, again looking at these metrics.
So when you are saying that there are different stages, it looks like that coaching is not a one-time activity. Maybe there are a series of activities, periodic follow-ups and all those things. So tell us about all this also, that is this a one-time activity and I'm understanding it wrong, or if it is an ongoing thing, and if it is ongoing, how to maintain this cycle of coaching?
This is really important. Coaching is not an overnight miracle. It is not a magic bullet. It is a journey that works over time. What I find works quite well is having a coaching session every 2 weeks, roughly between 1 to 3 weeks, but roughly every 2 weeks, over a period of 3 to 9 months. Right. This enables us to create a relationship, to establish trust, and to really work on the major elements, all the different tools that are required for progressing, and to really equip the leader with the different things that they need to really step up. Right. As part of that journey, accountability is also very important. So this is not about, you come once and then that's it. When leaders know that they have a coach that is going to ask them how they did on their commitments in both personal and professional, what I find is that they are much more likely to actually complete the accountability that they have been given, and as a result to progress towards their goal, versus working on their own where nobody is really holding them accountable or really caring about those very personal goals. So yes, coaching is a journey over time. How long it takes depends on each individual. When I work with organizations, I ask for a commitment of 12 coaching sessions. Right. So that's about 6 to 9 months. Right. And it allows us to really tackle, set the goals and then check the progress, and also helps with the implementation. So what are the challenges as the leader is stepping up? What are the challenges that they're now facing? Right. And so in this way, the whole journey becomes more sustainable. Having said that, coaching is also not something that the leader should depend on. Right. I believe that leaders and all individuals are fully capable to find their way. So coaching makes that deeper and faster and creates more learning, but it's not about the leader depending on the coach to get something. It is about the leader utilizing the coaching to make faster progress.
Coaching the top tier, and it's going to be a huge investment for the organizations. Are organizations afraid of this thing, that if they are going to coach the leaders and they will quit the company? Is there any fear, and then they say that no, we should not coach them? Or still they say that yes, we should do it?
This is an excellent question. And yes, there is always a risk, there's always a possibility that somebody being coached may leave their employment, regardless of whether they're being coached or not. Right? So there's a natural turnover in organizations. Is there a possibility that the leader realizes this is not the right space for them and they leave? Yes. And this is very healthy. It is healthy for the leader, because they are moving on to do something which resonates better with them, where they can contribute more and really maximize their impact. And it is healthy for the organization because they don't have somebody in the company who is disengaged. Having people working inside who are not engaged is not productive and does not create the impact that the organization wants to have. And so clinging on to leaders who would rather not be there doesn't serve anybody. Having said that, many times in the coaching process, leaders get a different perspective on the company. So it is very easy to, in our daily work, to complain or to see the downsides of the company. And when we look at coaching, we bring this down to values. By being and showing up to this job, what values are you honoring? And those values may be home related. It might allow your family to thrive. There may be so many other values that are being honored at work or outside of work. And so a lot of times coaching helps to re-engage people naturally.
And how to differentiate between internal coaches or line managers? Because sometimes, again, companies could be a little bit conscious that why we have to spend a lot of money for an external coach. How do you differentiate between an internal coach, the role and effectiveness, and the external one?
Internal coaching is really important, and I would encourage all organizations and leaders to provide that for their teams. Internal coaching is very different, however, from external coaching in a couple of key areas. One is, as an internal coach, often people use the word coaching as a way of guiding the team or the direct report to the answer that the leader wants to see. As an external coach, I am not guiding people to the answer that I believe is right for them. I am helping them to find the answer that is truly right for them, regardless of what I think. And then I check for resonance. Does this answer or decision make the leader come to life? Does it make her excited? Is there energy behind this decision? Is there resonance? Versus, does it feel flat and like an obligation, and most likely she is not going to follow up? So in that sense, external coaching is all about the individual and what is right for them. The other difference is also confidentiality. Within an organization, yes, of course, coaching should be confidential, but the level of trust is not the same. Simply because the leader works with these people, they may affect his career, they may affect what happens in the company. And so the level of openness is limited. Working with an external coach provides leaders a safe space to share what they truly feel, to process emotions, which may not be appropriate or comfortable to share at work, to be vulnerable, to play with vulnerability and to see that it's not as scary, to be truly heard. And as an external coach, I don't ask for background information on my clients. I don't research them. I take them as a blank sheet of paper. And I'm also not reporting back to the organization on what the leader talked about or what the leader struggled with. So all of those goal setting, midterm, and final reviews that I mentioned are led by the leader who is being coached. So she chooses to share as much as she feels comfortable with. So I'm not reporting on them. The level of trust that is created in this space is phenomenal. And the kind of things that I hear from my clients, both challenges and dreams, are things that have never been spoken out loud before. They have never been shared with HR or their manager, their colleagues, not even their partner. So that's really the value of external coaching. It is a complement to the internal coaching that happens. It's not a substitute. and it adds different value.
It's interesting stuff which you are talking, and really, when someone really they want to learn and think about it, it make impact. Like you are thinking and you are seeing things from the different angle. Tell us something about coactive coaching model. What exactly this is?
The coactive coaching model sees people as naturally creative, resourceful, and whole, meaning that the leader is not broken, she does not need fixing, she is an entirely capable human being.
Right.
And so seeing people in their full power. My favorite part of the coactive model is that it balances being and doing. And in a professional context, we're constantly doing something.
Right.
We're measuring, we're doing, we're actioning, we're asking other people to do. The key question that many individuals and specifically leaders don't ask is, who am I being? Who am I inside? What is the energy that I am transmitting? Who am I as a role model to my team? And that is the area that creates the biggest impact. And change makers can really step up their impact by also looking at who they are being.
Right.
It sounds very intangible, but the results are extremely tangible. And they can be felt by team members. As I talked about the pebble dropping in the pond and the waves coming off of that, many times in organizations, I hear feedback from people on the team of the person being coached saying, something changed about the leader, but I don't know what. He's not doing anything differently, but he's somehow different. And that's being. Right. That's the energy, the assumptions that we carry. And that creates a big impact. And I have seen how when leaders address and connect with who they're being, they maximize their impact.
Right.
Whilst, of course, also doing all the things that they need to do.
Right.
So the coactive model is really about balancing being and doing. And I think that's the most interesting part of the model.
I'm sure that in the town a lot of coaches will be available. What is the key consideration point when someone is thinking that now is the time we should get a coach, whether for the top tier or for an individual asking that now I need a coach? What are the points, how they can choose sensibly a coach?
This is a very important point, and the answer is very simple. Chemistry. According to research and to my personal experience, chemistry is the number one factor on which clients choose a coach. And chemistry means, do we have a good fit? Do we have a good vibe together?
Right.
Do we have trust? Can I trust you to tell you all of those really scary fears that I have and all of those really big dreams that I want to go for? And chemistry is very simple. Most coaches, myself included, offer a free chemistry session before starting the relationship. And in that session, it's about the fit that both coach and coachee have.
Right.
So it's not just about the client hiring the coach, but it's also about the coach hiring the client.
As we talked about, the coaching is not a one-time activity, right? How often in a practical life someone needs a coach or coaching sessions? Let's not talking about any particular one job, but throughout a career of 30, 50, 40 years, what are the stages when a person really need a coach?
It's very simple. Would you like to grow? And if you would, then coaching can definitely help you.
Any stage when you feel that there is a time you have to give a push to yourself and you need more growth, come back to a coach, get a coaching session, have this chemistry, and surely there will be results. I'm seeing that while you are speaking, while we are talking about coaching, there is a lot of passion. There is a lot of enthusiasm I can see from your way as you talk about it. And I'm sure that you take this profession in the same way. Tell us that what is the most interesting thing or attractive part of being a coach?
I love my work. I love the time I have with my clients. And the most exciting part is seeing clients achieve things far greater than the goal that they set. I am on a daily basis inspired and thrilled by the kind of things I see my clients do, by the transformation that I see, not just in what they're doing, but in who they are being. They are completely transformed. And once they are transformed, there is no going back to the old self.
All of our viewers which are watching this program, and if they are intrigued, they are finding it that's something of their interest. Do you have any recommendation, any resources, how they can get in touch with you, how they can learn more about the coaching, or how they can find out a coach?
So if you are watching this and you feel a good chemistry with what I'm sharing, with my energy, you can reach out on desijagger.com and find out a little bit more about how I work with changemakers, what makes a changemaker, whether you are a changemaker. And if that resonates with you, I offer free 30-minute consultations where we talk about your challenge or dream, your barriers, and how I can help you to get through that. And if I'm not the right person, then I would be very happy to recommend another coach, another resource, or another way forward.
Thank you so much, Desi, for your time. It was absolute pleasure meeting with you, speaking with you, and I hope that all of our viewers who are watching this program, they must have found this episode and knowledge which Desi shared with you very much helpful. I'm going to put all the contact details of Desi and her website address down in the description. If you wish, directly get in touch with her, and you can follow her on her social channels also. Thank you very much for watching this video. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching this episode. If you like our content, please subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon for regular updates.